In this video, I will teach you how to write a successful business plan in less than an hour. And we all think that writing a business plan is a daunting task, but then we start to overthink. And we want to avoid that, so I will show you a simple way how to do it that takes no time at all. Let's do it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief.
Welcome to Crosswinds Pilot, where we help visionaries to discover their freedom. You can do that as well, simply by subscribing, because then you will receive business advice and leadership skills every single week. All right, let's get down to business. One big reason why people get discouraged writing a business plan is that they get a template, they start filling it out, and then they assume that once they're done, it's all complete and it's perfect. But the reality is this: businesses and business plans are just not that straightforward. So what can we do to write a successful business plan? The key lies in remembering always while we are writing it what the purpose is, why we are writing the document, and what we would like to get out of it. We also have to get comfortable with the idea that it's an iterative process. So before we look at exactly how we compile our thoughts, let's have a look at typical segments that you have to put into a business plan. Here are 11 areas to think about. Who am I and why am I doing this? What are the benefits? What is my value proposition? What are my products and my services? Who is my market and what is my market strategy? What is my competitor analysis and how do I plan to conduct operations? I'll have to think about cost and pricing, and then I also have to think about financial forecasts and the backup plan. Now, all of this sounds like a huge task, but here's the thing. From that list, number 1 and 2 are simply the business mission statement. And I've already shown you in a video up here how to compile one in 3 easy steps. So we've already done that part. So then the next step is to become very clear where our priorities lie. And the first priority is to answer the following questions: what you do, for whom you do it, how you're intending to do it, and what it may cost you. And frankly, this is where I personally would just stop initially. Here's why. You will learn a lot more by actually doing business than by theoretically pondering over all the other segments of your business plan. Don't get me wrong, those things are important and we will cover them in future videos, but right now we just want to get your business off the ground. You already have the idea for your business, so writing down those things will actually cost you much less than an hour. But for now, let's just get back down to writing the key components of the business plan. What you do should be fairly easy to describe for you. In this section, just focus on the end result of your service or your product. What will your client get in the end? Is it a physical product? Is it a service that you provide? Or maybe it is an idea. Describe the product or the service that you are selling. Second question was for whom we are doing it. And it's not a new question because we've covered bits and pieces of that in the business mission statement in the other video. You have already identified what the key benefits of your product or your services are. And now you're putting it into practice by identifying exactly who would benefit most from it. So take that information and add the following. Describe your ideal customer. How is he or she like? Write down where your client is based. And finally, what are typical factors that your client would consider before buying? Is it the price point? Is it the quality of the product? Or maybe it's your personality? So what you now have to do is focus exactly on the question, how do you deliver the product? And it becomes very obvious quickly why that is so important. Start a list of all the steps that you need to arrive at your final product. And then on this list, add a few columns. For each step, for each aspect of delivering your product, add also what you require. Is it maybe time that you need? Is it space, like a shop? Is it maybe a technology solution, maybe a subscription service? Or you might need basic resources and tools. And here is why that is important. For each of the steps that you have written down to arrive at your final product, you now have a list of things that you need. But that also means you can now start thinking about the exact amount of money that you need to produce your product or to deliver your service. And this will give you a great starting point for pricing of your product later on. Of course, you are going also to your competitors' websites or to their shops, and you'll find out what other people will charge for something that is similar to what you offer. But at least now you know what you have to charge just to be profitable in your business, and also a range of prices between what you absolutely need as a minimum and what your competitors charge. Let me tell you, when you have come this far and when you've followed all the steps that we talked about, you are 80% ahead of all your fellow business founders. And that is especially true if you are, like myself, a visionary, because we love to spend our time on ideas and on solutions, and not so much on writing things down onto a computer or a piece of paper. You now have a basic framework for your business plan. It's not complete. There are bits and pieces missing, and there will be things changing as we go along. But you have something that you can go back to, that you can rely on, and when you get stuck, that you can reread why you are doing certain things and how you are doing them. And believe me, it does feel good to put something down on a piece of paper, because maybe you haven't even sold a single product, you haven't even provided a single service. But the very fact that you put it down into a business plan, as basic as it is at this stage, makes you feel good, because it's not a question if you are selling anything, but it's just a question of time. At this stage, maybe you want to remind yourself of your ideal client and of the benefit that your product has. As a starting point, you can watch the video that comes up right here. I love to see you over there or in the next video.